Another video live, of course, every single day we're here, as always. And today's a Chelsea panel. Today is not rivals shouting, waffling. It's a Chelsea panel after a big win. I think it's our second win in a row. And we're looking to get the third against Spurs. So they've got Jordan and Nina, my fellow Chelsea fans.
It's 3 wins in a row, Ches.
Three
Three,
wins.
mate.
Wait, what's the other one?
Leicester, Villa, Southampton.
That's the one.
3 wins.
That's what I'm saying. It's because we're winning so much. I actually get lost how many goals you scored.
Wow. Wow.
Why'd you get lost, man? This is the normal. This is
deep it though. Like, when was the last time we had this many wins in a season in a row? Like, it's actually crazy.
It's been a while. It's been a while, but we've got these memories still in the bank. Do you know what I mean? They exist in our bank. They don't exist in some people's bank accounts. You know what I mean? So.
How man doing though? Nina, I knew you with the man then before. How you saying?
Good, man. Yeah, I went to the game yesterday. My voice is half gone, isn't it? So like, forgive me for coughing a lot and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to cheer on the Mighty Blues in that 5-1 win. You know,
was he part of the crowd singing Maresca's name? Yeah, was he one of them?
Do you know what? I didn't stay till the end. I actually had to leave it because I needed to catch the train at 9:30. So I left at like the 70th minute. And we literally jogged to the station to get there.
Wait, so did you miss Sancho's goal as well?
I missed Sancho's goal, yeah.
Yeah, they must have, yeah.
Yeah.
But was it good? It must have been a vibe, like away day, coast.
Yeah, I mean, I go to a few away days, more away days than none, but I always end up with my throat finished by the end of it, you know, starting with the chance. Yeah, do you know what it is? Yeah, when I was younger, I used to be like, should I start a chant? I don't know. Let me try. Should I not? And then eventually I just started doing it, and everyone was like, "Hey," like, you know, I was young, so they was like, "Hey, look at this kid," like, and they'd join in. And then I got older and older and older, and it's like now I'm sort of influencing the youngers around me. I start screaming, they start screaming, and then it's like next thing you know, Palmer's like doing that.
Supposed to be. That's good.
Do you know what I mean? But you feel the personal effects as well as a fan because the players actually going like to the fans, you know, like thanks, like Joao Felix as well, like because you're actually physically cheering them on. It feels good, man.
That's it. Nina, what are you saying? Filming
I feel giddy. I feel like so happy, like when we're talking about Chelsea now, because I mean we've been in the trenches really like the last 2 years, so it just feels so good to be talking about Chelsea wins, to be talking about backing our manager as well. I think that's something that we've not been on the same page on as Chelsea fans for a long while, but everyone's slowly trusting Maresca, and we're seeing his name. And I said yesterday that, you know, I think it's been since Thomas Tuchel that we've sang a manager's name. So that tells you everything. And he's been here for 4 months. And he's, you know, some people tweeted Enzo Maresca's changing lives. Well, he actually is, because look at us Chelsea fans, glowing and happy and just believing in this future now that we were set out to believe in when Thomas Tuchel got sacked and everyone just had no clue what was going on after. So yeah, it's pretty happy. The fact that it wasn't even, you know, the best performance that blew, you know, the opposition away, but you know, you look at the game and you say it could have been 10. It could have been 10, you know, without exaggerating. That game could have been more goals. And the fact that Southampton actually, like troubled us, and it took like 30 minutes to get the fourth, even against 10 men Southampton, was, you know, telling you that it wasn't perfect, but it was more than enough, and it was more than we did previously. Southampton did the double over us before they went down, so you know we've been in dark times, and it feels good to be a Chelsea fan again.
100%. And everyone, Nina and the football locker room are in the description, so no excuses. On the playback, a lot of you watch this back when eating food, driving, wherever it is. If you like the content, subscribe to them. Subscribe to this channel. Road to 1K is on, very, very close. Big everyone in the chat already here, by the way. Big all you lot in the chat already here. This is sick. But yeah, man, let's get straight to it. Southampton was crazy. Like when Nina said we could have scored like 9-10, she's not exaggerating. Jordan was there as well, live in the flesh, seeing it. For me, I wasn't happy with the first 15, I would say. I didn't like the way our pressing was. And obviously he did change that halfway through first half. But overall, I was happy to get a corner. That's the first thing, scoring the corner. And the fact that, again, he can make changes in games. That's what I like about him. He can make changes very quickly. When things aren't going the way he predicts, or a player's not working the same way, he does adapt it quite quickly, which I like. So Jordan, in the game, how did you feel the first 10 minutes? I think we both scored they scored behind the
it's
corner.
basically
How
like you
was
said.
the first minutes for you, like, in the game?
It was a bit. The first 10 minutes was a bit. It was you couldn't really. It was a bit unpredictable, and like we scored, and yeah, that was great. But then they scored, and it was like it was way too easy the way they scored. And I just think the way we started was like we went into the game, mate. Perhaps like, oh yeah, we're just gonna win. We're just gonna win. Like we don't even need to try our best. And it's like we scored. We got a bit ahead of ourselves. They slapped one back on us, and then it's like we're like, oh no. Like doesn't matter if it's Southampton. Like this is still the Premier League. You know, like pattern up your behaviour, do what you're meant to do. And then from then we did. So yeah, that was about 15 minutes in. I'd say yeah.
You know about you? How do you put the first 15? We scored the goal and they scored.
Yeah, I agree because I think, Southampton had a lot more of the ball. They were, trying to sort of cause a bit of trouble. And I agree that we got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it was nice to score, from like we don't really score from set pieces ever, really. Like Thiago Silva used to be quite good at doing that. But, we've always lacked a lot of, I'd say, height and just presence in the box when it comes to corners. So really good for Disasi to get the opener as well. I didn't understand his celebration. Was it like, are you guys crazy? I'm actually good, or was it like, I don't know? It was a really weird celebration.
Is that the one with the sausage? What do you do? You talking about
no, he did this. He did like that.
Yeah, I think he went like this, like.
He always does something frantic. You don't quite understand what it is.
Like. It was like people say concentrate. It was one of them was just like doing all this. I was like, bro, like.
Yeah.
By the way, he shouldn't. I don't like him. I don't like him. Like he shouldn't be playing soccer.
He's not great.
Yeah, I know he scored, but like this is what to put out there. Like I don't like when he plays.
Well, yeah, do you know what? It was a really good point because, I mean, Lewis had said this earlier, so I'm not taking credit for it, but he said that partly why Disasi's kind of numbers or like stocks have dropped is because he's been played as a right back when he has played, and obviously that's not his most comfortable position. I think that's where he's made a lot of mistakes. I too don't really trust Disasi to be starting really in the Prem, and I'm sure that, there's other players and defenders that are ahead of him in the pecking order anyway. But yeah, good for him to get his goal, and then obviously Southampton scored, and then that's where it looked quite tight. It looked quite marginal. 2-1's never 100%. A comfortable lead, especially away from home. And to be fair, I was quite surprised because when I saw the lineup, I thought, I was a little bit apprehensive because I didn't think he'd make as many changes. Yeah, it's midweek, but it's still Premier League, and it was important to get that win. I also thought because Southampton had like key players out, they might sort of sit back at us, but they brought the game to us, so I don't know if that was fair play or very foolish from them. Obviously in hindsight, very foolish of them, especially considering they went a man down. But yeah, and then I think that when we got the thirds, that's when I thought, and we were obviously very bright in attack, we were making things happen. So I think after the third goal, it pretty much looked like we were back in control. But then obviously second half took half an hour to get that fourth goal, so wasn't quite perfect. But considering Southampton made it tricky for Arsenal this season, Liverpool, got 2 goals against them as well, I think, to beat them 5-1 in the end, that's pretty good from us.
Yeah, 100%. Like I didn't like the way, because I was getting flashbacks. The first 15 minutes, I was like, hold on a minute. I thought Chelsea changed turned the corner, and we don't do this against small teams away from home anymore. And then the Chelsea we know this season stepped in, bit more competence, the tactics starting to flow out a bit more confident in the way we're playing. And then we obviously saw that with another goal going in, and then the red card happened in the second half, start of second half. And then from then we kind of knew it was going anyway, and the third goal went in. So for me, I'm just happy to see us perform well. Jordan, what are you saying about the tactics? What are you saying about Maresca being able to change and adapt in the game? Are you happy about that? Should he start from the beginning and just make these changes?
There's two things that he's done recently which I'm very impressed with, which is I think it was in the last game we had Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you get them 3 onto a pitch together?
No,
Enzo managed to do it somehow. Because I'm a football coach, like a manager. I don't know how I'd play them 3 together, but anyway, Enzo's obviously his knowledge is a lot deeper than people I think understand. And it's not always about experience. Sometimes you've got a philosophy inside of you due to your upbringing and everything you've seen in life in terms of football. it's not all about the fact that have you been in the top jobs or the best jobs, or sometimes it's simple things like learning from the best, you know. Obviously he learned from Pep, but that doesn't mean to say he's going to be like Pep. He could be like Pep but different. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, success is success. So, and he's definitely going in the right direction. So yeah, I'm impressed with how we had Enzo, Lavia, and Caicedo together. And also, I find it quite nice the way he's actually giving time to basically all of the wingers. They're all getting time.
Yeah.
They're all getting opportunities, you know. And that it might be in Europa League or in upcoming FA Cup or in games like yesterday, you know, where the squad was slightly rotated or whatever. But I think he's doing a great job of rotating everyone, and everyone's getting good game time. I know you got rumors of players like Nkunku being unhappy and this and that, but no, come the end of the season, say for example we lift the Conference League and you know we do well in the Premier League. How well, I don't know, and I don't know, could win the FA Cup, whatever. If not, a good cup run. At the end of the day, most of the players will be satisfied. At the end of the season, should be satisfied, yeah, with the primary target of winning the Conference League and doing as well as we can in the Premier League. If players are unhappy and they've still played like multiple games,
I know what you're trying to say.
I think he's doing really good at that. But I think that there shouldn't be no complaints from all the players because of the amount of games that we have.
Yeah,
our players are gonna get game time, so I don't want to hear moaning like halfway through the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the thing. Go on, you know.
Yeah, go on, Chez.
No, I was just gonna set up for you to speak in terms of like, I get what Jordan saying in terms of like he's managed, because a lot of accusations before we played it forward and the start of the game was too many players. How's he gonna fit them all in? Too many chefs in the kitchen. It ain't gonna work. Squad harmony, and he's found a way to like manage to play certain players and have a hierarchy somewhere. If you perform well in certain games, you will get a choice. What I really like about our team is that Felix literally was on the bench for half the season in the B team, performing well, and he literally slowly made it into the first team. It wasn't straight away. He made the bench, then he made the starting 11, then he performed well. Then he got onto the bench of the Conference League, which means he got upgraded to the first team, and now he's starting Premier League games. That's what I like to see. Sancho, when it wasn't even like he was missing for that long, he comes back into the team, part of the cog. That works. The system works that well. You could take players in and out, move them here and here, and it works in a very efficient way. That's what I like. I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I like the fact that our system is getting the best out of our players. People can leave, people can come into the team, and it's not much of a detriment or an addition. It's just everyone kind of performs at a certain level, which is good in certain ways. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I was going to say I'll add to that Neto as well. Neto started off in our B team as well. He slowly worked his way into the starting 11 in the Premier League too. And what did Maresca say at the start of the season? Play well and you'll play. And it's not actually about fitting the players in and everyone staying happy. That's not what Maresca is necessarily interested, because at the end of the day, we're not in primary school here. This is a serious football club. And what he's doing is he's just actually playing the wingers to their strengths in certain games. So certain games will be more suitable to certain wingers. For example, you know, come the weekend we'll play a Neto for sure, because, you know, Tottenham will play a high line and Neto will expose that. So it's about like playing certain wingers based on their strengths in certain games, and that works really well. It means that we're not predictable as well, and these little tweaks are working, but it's not about keeping the players happy. It's about doing what will work well, and most of the time it does. You know, partly obviously why Nkunku started, because Jackson's away from suspension, but also if Southampton were to sit back at us, Nkunku is quite techie. So Joao Felix, they can actually work against low blocks because they can kind of create space for themselves, get out of tight spaces. Sancho, for example, again, very technically gifted, is a great dribbler, has great crosses off him as well, and his decision making is good, but perhaps he's not so suited to play against a team with a high line because necessarily isn't the quickest on that front. So it's really interesting to see how different players play in different games. So obviously somewhere down the line, and we know that next season when we do eventually get into Champions League football, when we get into Champions League football, you're not going to be able to chop and change as much because you're going to be playing against competitive teams week in, week out. So you don't get to pick an A team and a B team. But it's really great to see that Actually, he's keeping them hungry, and he's not about, making players happy. He called out Madueke, very constructive criticism of saying, I want more from you because you can do more. Madueke could have had a hat-trick in that game. He could have had 4 goals against Southampton, got his goal and assist, but, he must still continue working hard. And do you guys remember that Pochettino did the same thing to Madueke last season? He took him out the lineups for a little bit. He had a good relationship with him, but he said, Madueke, I want you to work better. I want you to train better. Madueke didn't sulk about that. He came back stronger, and then that's why he slowly kind of became a key player for Maresca at the start as well. He scored his hat-trick against Wolves, then was almost like an undroppable player, but no, that's where he went wrong, because nobody's undroppable in this team. If you eventually stop producing the numbers, etc., then you make way for someone else. And at the moment, we're still work in progress. That's actually a really refreshing approach, and that's all credit to Maresca.
Yeah, literally. Perfect, because literally, look at one of my topics we're going to speak about. It's not.
Well, I've already got onto it. Well,
yeah, you already started talking about it, but we'll come back to it as well. Which is very, very good point in terms of like he manages to find a way to motivate players without being too harsh on them. I think there's a fine balance between like constructive criticism, and kind of like criticism in a way, and he's doing it correctly where it's just about enough. And the way he says it, you can tell behind the scenes is a bit more, direct. But to us, he even sounds very direct. Even to us as fans, he's meant to be neutral and like, what's it called? Like vague. And he still sounds a bit passionate without being too, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about him. But Jordan, man, what are you saying about the wingers? Who do you think's our best winger options? Like, who do you think's like the best balance? I know it's tough.
Yeah. It's annoying, bro. It's a good problem. It's a positive problem, a nice problem that we have, that Enzo Maresca has, picking the wingers. Yeah, but look, for me personally, I don't know if it's my age or what era I grew up watching footballers. Yeah, but I love Noni Madueke. Like I have a really special place for this guy, bro. Like he to me is, I just when he gets that ball, yeah, bro, I'm off my seat. I don't like he seriously brings like that magical side to football. I know Pedro Neto is a very good system player, super fast, strong, he's a great footballer, yeah, debatably better than Noni, yeah, but and something about Noni, I just love this guy, bro. This is my favorite right winger at Chelsea.
What is it about him? Do you think it's like his
when he gets the ball, I don't know,
on the ball?
You're
saying his mannerism, the way his swagger
when he gets the ball. Yeah, look, I'm not comparing him to these players.
I know what you mean though.
When he gets the ball, it's like that feeling with Palmer, that feeling with like how you used to get kind of like Ronaldinho gets on the ball at the new camp. Like the fans will be like, oh, like he's got the ball, he's gonna do something. Like when this guy gets the ball, oh my day, like them feelings. That is the feeling that I have with Noni. Some other people might not have that, and that's fair enough to them. That's their opinion, innit? But when he gets that, I even watched him at PSV. When I heard, because I watched the Eredivisie like quite religiously, and I've got a lot of friends that live in Holland and stuff, and I watched him at PSV. Bro, the guys that he was so good. So good. I was like, if this guy comes to Chelsea and he strengthens up, maybe bulks up a slight touch, gets used to the Premier League pace, and he just fitted into the Premier League pace like that. And the worst thing is, you see that it's completely under his control. It's not forced. Like the ball comes to him, and he'll dribble as fast as he feels like dribbling with it. Not however much the game tells him to. He'll do it however.
I didn't know people rated Noni like this.
Well, I do. I do. I'm not gonna lie.
I know you. Neither. Who do you rate? Before we get, let's talk about Noni. Why not in it? Like,
we pushed you into it, Chaz.
Jordan has praise. Nina mentioned it before. What are you feeling about Noni as well? Like, is it because he scored a goal and assist yesterday, so it's a hot topic? Maresca came out with his thoughts already.
I've said enough.
I'll give you my point of view.
I've said enough what I think about Noni. I'll finish up quick. I've said enough what I think about Noni, but like for me, he's droppable, of course, because like he said, he might not be working hard in training. I'm a football coach. I understand this stuff. Like if he's not pulling his socks up, he needs to be dropped and reality check, and then come back stronger. I get all of that, but for me, he's my favorite right winger at Chelsea. But yeah, man, your thoughts on Noni?
I mean, I rate Noni because when he arrived, him and Mudryk arrived pretty much same time, pretty raw, both of them. I mean, obviously, Jordan, you would have watched a lot more of Madueke, as you've just said, than I have. But I think obviously he had a little bit more experience because, I mean, Mudryk hadn't played for about 3 months before arriving. And, he hadn't really been at such a big club either. So they arrived pretty raw. But in terms of levels of improvement, Madueke's journey has been just so much better than Mudryk's in terms of developing the footballer he's become. His decision making's improved, output obviously, and also it does help he gets more game time, but he's earned that throughout his progress. And I think Pochettino, Madueke, they had a special relationship. He was pretty favoured as well for when he was starting games. I do rate Noni. I think the criticism recently has been a little bit too extreme for what actually has happened, and the fact that Maresca's working out that situation pretty well, and he's having conversations with Noni, he's playing. I do think sometimes he maybe sulks a little bit when he doesn't quite get a goal or an assist. Noni tends to do that a little bit.
He's definitely that guy.
And you never have to question. Yeah. You never have to question his efforts as well. I think Noni Madueke, one thing about him is he was one of the first players to start taking more risks at Chelsea, especially towards the end of last season. And I say fair play to that. If you're a young player coming through the ranks and you can see that only one player in the name of Cole Palmer is actually pulling his weight here and producing magic for Chelsea, you back yourself to take a shot outside the box. You back yourself to take on your man. And what happened? He slowly became much more successful and better doing that. So I rate him. I think there's definitely a footballer there. Is he the polished, perfect winger? No, he's not. However, there's a clear pathway there, and the fact that he's improving makes me want to see more. I want to see more starts from Noni. I want to see more. And the fact is, guys, let's not forget that Cole Palmer's are fantastic, but there's been a lot of link up between Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke that have also boosted Palmer's numbers. They've been a great duo, them two, and obviously they played at a younger level too, so that's helped. But great. Nobody's place should be guaranteed. So Noni, keep working hard, and we'll see how this unfolds. But if you asked Chelsea fans to pick their strongest starting 11s right now, especially in the attacking departments, we'd probably all have different says, wouldn't we? And that's the beauty of it, because we haven't quite seen this on a consistent basis where we've seen these partnerships. It's like mix and match. Who do you want to go for? Oh, I'll take this one. I'll have that one. I'll have this one up top. So yeah, like Jordan said, it's a welcome problem to have.
Definitely a welcome problem. We needed this because if you remember after the Champions League, that squad we scored goals with set pieces. One season, Jorginho was the highest goal scorer with penalties. That's literally where we're at. To see this now, we would have bit your hand off for a team that has loads of wingers that can chip in with goals. And this is why when they were bought, people question them a lot, because we were so desperate to have players who can actually score that when they've come in now and actually performed, we're taken aback. We have so many options. We have Neto, Mudryk's in decent form in terms of Conference League and other competitions. You got Noni's obviously scoring here and there. Cole Palmer, you can play inside the pocket on the wings. Felix, you can play the same. And Nkuku can play inside as well. So we've got many, many options to choose from. And it's difficult, Maresca, to choose some players, because I don't like the fact, by the way, that Noni needs to be motivated a lot. That's one thing I would say to Jordan's point before praising him, is that a player that needs to keep getting motivated, I don't know how much I like that. He should be motivated enough to play for the club in terms of being a starting winger for my football club. But it could be trained out of him, I guess.
What it is, yeah. I've noticed with a lot of these young players, and especially I coach under 16s, innit? And when you're working, when you coach around that age, the age they start beginning to go into playing big men's football, you notice certain players that they have such a potential that you have to work around their personalities, and you have to channel that and send it in the right direction. Noni Madueke was clearly like that. He's got, I wouldn't go so far as to say an attitude problem, but I don't know, maybe some things have happened in his life, in his childhood, that have made him have this seriously high standards for himself. And if he doesn't achieve them, he's pissed, man. You see it on his face. They always zoom in on him.
Yeah, when he missed a few chances yesterday, he looked so vexed.
And you're like, mate, bro, we're battering them. We're all over them. They're down to 10 men. Calm yourself down. What's wrong, man? Chill. I would be there, at my age, saying to him, Noni, chill. Keep your head up, man. Forget about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Next one's gonna come, put it in the bottom corner. Next one's gonna
Yeah,
come.
he just needs what he does need. I don't like how you see motivated, but it's not a bad thing to motivate your player.
Not yet.
Like Nina, what do you think about this as well?
He's still young, bro. Like,
how highly do you rate Noni?
Yeah,
everyone has emotions, like, bro. Like,
I rate him highly.
Who's to say that Thiago Silva didn't need motivation at times, and who's he gonna get that from? Well, from the manager. Do you know what I mean? Because there's not exactly any older players, but like the point is, everyone's gonna need some sort of motivation or a push towards what they know they are every so often. Everybody does as a human being, but when you're young, when you're under the age of like 23, 24, 25 as a footballer, you need that push all the time. Like a lot.
I said it was a bad thing, but maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. But Lina, what do you think? How much do you rate him? How highly do you rate him?
I rate Noni.
Yeah.
I would say though, Noni is probably endangered in terms of the future, in terms of wingers for the future, because he's one that his value can rise, and with what he's doing, and if his numbers are up, can rise. And when we have other players coming in a year's time as well, the wonder kids that we have coming in through South America, and obviously you have players like Mudryk, who you'd argue probably should be out the door before, but you also got to look at selling points and profits and stuff. And naturally sometimes the better winger gets sold because of money, etc. That's just how football goes sometimes, but there's a lot of competition. It's good. But one thing I'll go back to last season that I had a controversial opinion about, do you guys remember the penalty situation where Noni and Palmer and Jackson were all kicking up a fuss about who should take that penalty when Palmer was already on? Was he on a hat-trick that game, or was he going to get a hat-trick with that penalty? I believe he was already on a hat-trick, but I have to fact check that. Someone let me know. And there was an argument. I actually can't remember, but I remember that Palmer either was on 2 goals or 3 goals, and that would have been his hat trick. Anyways, not important.
Was it Everton?
Maybe. I don't know. Someone in the comments, someone that remembers that game, remind us.
Yeah, someone in the comments let us know. I forgot as well.
Yeah. There was just so many games that Palmer was good. But yeah, no, the fact that, Noni actually wanted to step up and take that penalty, I thought it's been a hot minute. Like, obviously, Palmer is our penalty taker. He proved it last season. But, when he's on a hat trick, and I just thought, could maybe Noni have a go at taking this for confidence, just for the fact that he wanted to. I really like that quality. There is a nice element of confidence to Noni Madueke. Some might say it's arrogance. Maybe at times it is. But also the fact that he backs himself to be the risk taker with the risk of looking maybe like a fool if it doesn't go his way. I like that, because sometimes footballers shy away and they put responsibility on other people, but Madueke was happy to be that. He obviously does love it. Every footballer does like it. Like Jordan said, the kids he coaches, when they score, they're happier. They feel like the main character, right? And I think Noni Madueke has that energy to him. But I rate him. Yeah, he does. You definitely know he was like the best player in like the playground at break time in school, and everyone did.
But he seems like a kind of guy like he's always been good at the ball.
I'd love to be his personal mentor. I swear to God. Like,
it sounds like
he seems proper relatable. Like, he seems like someone you could personable. You feel like you could chat to him and like tell him, yo, like, it's calm, like, you're a good player, just keep your head down kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Play FIFA with him, whatever you want to do, go shopping, whatever it is. But he seems chill. When I say he's not a good thing, I mean in terms of like when we're going for leagues, hopefully soon, we'll talk about whether it's this season or not. Comments, let me know, hit the like button, subscribe to all the channels. I'm not sure if we should be having players who needs to be constantly motivated. That's only my gripe. Do you get it? That's my only issue. It's not right now because we're performing well. There's no pressure on the team. But I think as the pressure mounts up, we can't be having Mandem saying in the press conferences, oh yeah, I needed to motivate Mudryk. Just, like, bro, we're in a title race. Like, one more, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I would say on that.
Yeah, but them man there ain't built for that, innit? Like, certain players ain't built for that right now. They've got to grow and learn with that. Noni Madueke, you can see the attitude is there already. So you've got to, like I said, channel it. Like Mudryk, man, he's like a baby. He don't know what he's like. Obviously, he doesn't even speak English properly to be able to have a full-blown press answer back in a press conference. You know what I mean? And in interviews. So sometimes it can be difficult for him to explain what he wants to say. You know what I mean? Whereas he might be able to say it in Ukrainian, like calm, no problem. But he can't express it properly in English. Whereas like Noni can express it in English, like Palmer can express it in English. You know what I mean? So there's that small thing as well. So it's like the fans don't fully understand the players' outlooks and views on things either, because they only give them in interviews and very seldom moments, like, and it's got to be. I just think there's got to be a little bit more understanding behind the players nowadays. The world is so rapidly changing, and so has football changed so rapidly. Not just the style and the culture of it, everything around it has changed so much. Yeah, and I think people need to start, coaches need to start, and managers and stuff need to start understanding that every player is so different. Their personalities need to be handled differently. What you need in a manager nowadays is not just a manager that knows football, has a philosophy, a style of play, is motivated, this, that. You need a manager that knows how to deal with people. So maybe someone that understands things like mental health, things like this. They're so vital and key and important. Like, when Pep here the other day, like, said, why have you got a scratch on your nose? Like, I've been harming myself, and he laughed. Like, the man should be slapped in the face for that talk. Like, he doesn't know who he's in. He's insulting God knows how many people that have problems. Yeah. Do you know how many people in football have had problems? Like, how many footballers have you heard their stories? They've come from seriously fucked up backgrounds, and it's not a joke. You don't make jokes like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
I know what you're saying, to be fair.
Yeah, but all because he's pissed because I wouldn't say a sore loser, but he's not used to losing, and he's crying like a baby. So he's going to start making jokes and comments like that because he can't handle himself better. He should be able to handle himself better. So my debate here is he the best manager in the world? Because the best manager in the world has every single young person saying, "Oh my God, I'd love to work for him. I'd love to play for him." But is everyone going to say that if he's making them kind of comments, kind of thing? So
no, I get
but
yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah. Pep,
I think Maresca is handling the media very well, and he seems to be handling the boys very well as well. So good.
Yeah, 100%. I hope our manager doesn't come out. I'm saying gets all petty when he loses. I get you could lose the game. Even Klopp sometimes shout at referees. She could be to be in referees' faces and stuff. It's like, bro, relax. Let's stop doing this. Like, you just do your job and keep it moving. But yeah, man. Maresca, that was a segment I was going to speak on, but we kind of touched it before in terms of what's he changed since Poch. We spoke about the tactics. Jordan just spoke about the man management. Nina, in terms of like his handling of the club, since day one, he's been very, very good at it. Like, since literally day one when he spoke, he kind of gave us the talking talk kind of thing that Poch did last year, but then he backed it up. When we were losing games, he didn't sound too defeatist. When winning games, he didn't sound too overly joyed. He's kept it moving, like I have to say. Every single game, saying one game at a time. Let's see where we're at. Let's keep it moving. Let's get our wins. Could that mentality that he brought from Leicester, which is very important, I want to hammer this in, Slot and Maresca have both won their leagues just a few months ago. People underestimate how important that is. They've won, whether it's the Championship or the what's it called, the Dutch League. They have the mentality to get their teams through. Could this be something that helps Chelsea in the season? But he's won recently. His calmness, his talking, forgetting tactics and everything. Could that be a big factor in how we perform?
Yeah, 100%. Even though I can't tell you and I can't lie that at the start of the season I said that would mean that, he'd take Chelsea off to a flying start, because that's not true. I didn't really know what to expect from Maresca when he arrived. And, frankly, I had a lot of trust issues because we've welcomed that many managers in the last year since the takeover. So I think all of us Chelsea fans were quite apprehensive with what to expect from Enzo Maresca. But yeah, not so bad for a championship manager, as they like to say. But to answer your question on what has changed since Poch, I mean, you mentioned it yourself, the press conferences, he actually believes what he's saying. I think Poch was really trying to sell a dream towards the end of his tenure at Chelsea. And he was saying things that he really looked like he'd lost touch with, and he looked like he knew were not achievable, really. And, obviously Enzo Maresca's recently been asked, are Chelsea in a title race and this and that? And he's not falling in this trap of selling a dream or trying to make himself, paint himself to be, this absolute wondrous manager. Even when the fans sung his name for the first time, he actually encouraged the fans to applaud the players, who actually have taken a lot of criticism in the last year since obviously the takeover. We've questioned how good they are, and Maresca's just quietly going about business, right? And he's just telling us, and he's open with us. He's maybe too open because he told us Sanchez is starting for Chelsea.
I thought that was a bit too humble, though. I thought that was a little bit too humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to take some credit. He's got to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But also, Jordan, what I'll say to that is he knows that business is far from done. You know, we are in December. We are in December. At the end of the day, we are high flying right now, guys. But I don't need to tell you guys that there will be bumps in the road even this season. I think that's when we actually see. And that is when we will find out how much Chelsea are back, with how we face adversity, how we go through challenges, how we react when we drop points in games where we might not have expected to, or when we've been blown away by the opposition team, how, God forbid, we cope with injuries. Because I think, you know, something we've been so lucky with, and something that maybe Poch wasn't blessed with, is having an available and a fit squad as well, as much as we do now. You know, we've got Wesley Fofana out, Reece James out, but even then, that's completely minimal to what it was like last season. So I think we've got a bit of a core forming here. And what I mean by that is there's a bit of a backbone at Chelsea slowly forming, where you have certain players that if you take them out, there could be a little bit of a, do you know what I mean? Because
I think this next few weeks up until New Year will tell us a lot.
Yeah.
Because we've got
winter's gonna be tough, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got like winnable games. Like that old adage of like winnable, that cliche is rubbish because all games can be won. But I guess on paper, they're easier games to win. We've got like Spurs away, Brentford at home, Everton away. So these games were like you'd expect us to get results. We didn't last year.
Sometimes we make a meal out of it. We always make a meal.
That's what I'm saying. This time last year, if you remember the Wolves, Boxing Day or Christmas Eve, it was.
I was there. I
think that was one of the biggest lows of that season.
That was like, man, was that Christmas Eve or Boxing Day?
Christmas
it was one of the
Eve.
two. And I was in the shop in the Mandem, and I was so depressed. Because you imagine that's a typical since the UCL, yeah, that is how Chelsea felt. That one game is how we felt. Losses, should be winning games, conceding stupid goals, dumb shots. It's just
when I was on my way home on the train from Molineux last season, man, I swear I was so happy it was Christmas Eve, because if it wasn't Christmas Day the next day, the way out, how pissed I was. You know what I mean? I'm lucky I'm going home and my kids are at home, and you know what I mean? Christmas Day the next day, I'll forget about it. Like, well, we've just gone to Wolves and lost. Let alone I went to Southampton away as well, and Lavia went in the last time we played Southampton, and Lavia put a goal past us, and I went home pissed that day as well. So I'm just thankful for what's happening at the moment, man. Made a good time.
Yeah, man. The next few weeks will tell us a lot. It tells a lot about our team, and it will tell us a lot about whether we're in a title race or not. Because that transition was mad. I understand what I'm saying. You've got to do the transition very smooth. But anyway, roll call. Hit the like button, people. There's 50 people in there earlier. Just below that now. Subscribe to all the channels below. It's very, very easy. Descriptions are all there. You click on it, subscribe. You use us content. Angie's on the CFCs as well. All the platforms, Terrace, everything. Jordan Football Locker Room and Never Without and Heroes, of course. So it's very easy to do. Subscribe to your channels. And yeah, man, can Chelsea prove to us we're in a title race? So how it is right now is, funny enough, the rivals didn't make our squad. We were not that good. Turmoil. Why'd you get rid of Chalobah? Poch in the left. All this, right? Debates online. Chelsea going to be sixth in the league. Now, all of a sudden, it's Chelsea's being a title race to win the league. So, as Chelsea fans, I think we will be forced to say this if, in my opinion, in January the 1st, we're still this distance away or less. That's just my opinion. I think if we're 6.7 points off the league come 2025, I don't think we have a choice. Do you man agree with that or no? That's the question for you two.
Say that specifically.
If we are the same distance away from Liverpool, or probably Liverpool will be, in 2025, the January the 1st, I think we'll be forced to be in a title race. Rival-wise, fan base-wise, media-wise. Is that fair to say?
Do you want to go first?
I'm going to say this. I think Enzo Maresca said, and I've not made this up, that we will wait till March and we will set the target. And what he means by that is if we are very much in and around top 4 and, you know, we look like, okay, what you say, Ches, is very clever there. If we're equal distance, as you like to say it, from whoever is sat first, second, I think what you've got to take into account is it's very difficult to say that right now, because you have to look at the teams that were going into the season in the mix of being in a title race, right? Because let's be real, we were never in that mix. You know, we were interested in top four only. Those who came into the season with ambitions of winning the title, Man City and Arsenal, right? Facts. And now, obviously, things have changed. And a lot of people, I think, maybe have discounted Arsenal City. But I think that's obviously now changed because, obviously, Arsenal have won the game. We've not dropped points. And, obviously, Man City, everyone thinks done and dusted. But I actually think that come the winter window, Man City, they have no choice. They will have to make reinforcements. They're going to have to buy players. Kevin De Bruyne looks like his best version almost. And, you know, he could be back again. Pep could find a way, as he always has done, to make Man City in and around this kind of group. We're calling it top four race because Man City fans said they're in a top four race now. That has changed. We yesterday saw that Liverpool are capable of dropping points, whether that continues on and happens. So what I'm trying to say here is that the teams that came in interested in this title charge said very quickly, we are no longer in it. Us coming in, our expectations supposedly have changed because we've solidified ourselves into this second, third spot. But I don't think that should be the case right now because I think we are currently, we're on track to obviously winning games and solidifying this top four spot. I'm interested in increasing the gap between kind of third, fourth, and with the rest of the table because
let me make an argument here based off that point. So, like you just said, if we draw a gap, which we do have already, by the way, between Spurs,
and we should extend.
We do have it already. By the way,
I
think we're actually closer to Liverpool than we are them. For context.
Okay, who's them?
So Spurs. We're closer to Liverpool than we are to Villa, Spurs, and United.
Yeah. And I say,
if I'm using your logic, and by the way, I'm under my assumption that we're 7 points off Liverpool, top of the league, I would then kind of predict the other teams we're talking about to not be on the same distance towards us because the gap would widen. Because if we keep on the same rate and they keep on the same rate, it would widen and we'd still be at the same level as the Liverpools and the Arsenals. So how would we not therefore be in the title race if we're 9-10 points off top four contenders, but then less points off top place? How does that work?
That's a fair point. To cut a story short, for me, it's too early to answer that question. I say no right now. If you want a yes or no, no. Simple as that. Top four race. However, come the end of, you know, the window, the transfer window, and we're continuing on. Let's not forget, we've got a bit of a tougher run coming up after that as well. You know, obviously the reverse fixtures. Sadly, we didn't get to play Man City at the start of the season. We get to play them in January away from home. We don't know what that's going to look like, but there will be certain games that will be a challenge. If at the end of that, you know, we are still come February, March, very much, as you like to say, very high up there, you know, and the points are, and there's a clear margin there, then we can talk again. You know, we can look at that question, but I think it's premature right now. I think, you know, we've won 3 games and that's what I wanted, a bit of a winning streak going, but come on, 3 games in a row. Let's continue doing that. Let's get a little bit of a streak going and then we can actually be very realistic with what's going on. I think, and I will say this, I don't trust Robert Sanchez. And why I say that is because I don't think a team has ever won the title with a goalkeeper that they're so insecure about. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think Sanchez...
hold on a minute. Are you talking about winning the league?
Well, that's what you're asking me, aren't you?
I wasn't insecure last night with Jorgensen in goal. I can tell you that much.
Exactly. But no,
I'm specifically talking about
a title race. Yeah, I get that. But a race for the title is you're racing for the title, right?
As in, like, when I say title,
as in you can not just mathematically, but
you can actually win
terms, it looks like you've got a chance of winning it.
Yeah, that's what a title race means.
But what I'm saying is, like, irrespective of whether we rate Sanchez or not, if we're that point off these teams, then we might not win it. We're still in it, no? By the way, I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know what you're doing here, Jez. No, okay. Can I throw a question to you then, very simply? Do you think...
Go on, then.
Well, Well, to be fair, I get where you're coming from because the question isn't can Chelsea win the league, but for me to be in a title race, that means you've got realistic chances, right, of winning the title. Otherwise, why are you in? Do you know what I mean? You're not in a race if you can't win it.
No. Okay, cool.
So,
there's two questions. But there's two questions.
Yeah,
are we in the Premier League title race?
At the moment, we're in a top 4 race. Come spring, we can reassess.
Wait, Jordan. I want to get Jordan. I want Nina's 2 statements, and Jordan can give his answer. He hasn't spoken. Yeah. Nina, what is your definitive bang? Like, what are you saying?
I told you, come February, assess where we are, and we have another conversation. Right now, the answer is no.
Right. Cool. And we're in the top 4 race, yeah?
Yeah, we're in a top 4 race for sure, and that's expected.
I'll get you back on the pod, but hopefully episode 3 or whatever, 2. So Chelsea, by the end of this period, are less than 7 points away, you would still be consistent with that point. There's no extenuating circumstances. It's just February. That's cool, fair enough.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
You've heard Nina's response. She's very to the point.
I'm a big waffler, guys. Sorry, it doesn't take.
No, actually, you're articulate. You're not waffling. Your points are very, very coherent. Jordan, give me a similar S speech. You want to hear it, man?
Yeah.
Go on, Jordan.
For me, there's 2 questions to answer that one question. So for me, there's are Chelsea in the title race, and then there's can we win the Premier League? So the question is, are we in the title race? Mathematically, yes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Realistically looking, Liverpool don't look like they're going to drop points. So no, we're not in the title race. What's the point of comparing us to the point that we've dropped the points?
So that's you discounting. Sorry to interrupt you. Is that you discounting any other teams there? So no Arsenal there, no Man City there.
No, because it's not mathematically. I'm talking in realistic terms. Arsenal have had a lot of issues.
So you're now talking realistically, not mathematically.
No. I said mathematically we can. Mathematically, we're in the title race, right? So that point is finished. Now, realistically, we're not in the title race.
I get what you're saying.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Because Liverpool have not had as many hiccups and they don't look like they're going to have as many. Arsenal also have had a lot of issues in the games where they've dropped points, all the red cards, etc., etc. You'd have to have an Arsenal fan to fill you in about that. But they've had some issues. So I would say that Arsenal are a step ahead of us in points of competing to remove Liverpool from first place, even though we're above them. But that's because we're progressing at the pace that we should. And that's dangerous. That is very dangerous. So everyone can watch out for that. But I don't think we are in the Premier League title race right now. I think that, and I see it as slightly arrogant, but also humble too. I'm a Chelsea Football Club fan. We've won it all. I've watched us win it all. I don't really come to compete. I come to win. And we will have conversations about who's going to win the Premier League later on in the season, sort of thing. So it's not about who's going to be. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm not trying to get second place and be happy with that, because I'm not happy with that. I'll be pissed if we get second. Pissed. Sorry, but I don't know what Chelsea fan wouldn't be. As in, you turn around and you'd say, yeah, okay, we've done well. Of course we've done well. But I am so pissed that we did not win the Premier League and we're in second place. I don't know, 3 or 4.
What, this season? As in this season?
Right. So say end of the season, we finished 2 points behind Liverpool. Yeah. I'm going to be absolutely livid.
But that's because the expectations would have changed with the course of the season. But had you been told that at the start of the season, you would have taken it.
Nah.
I wouldn't have taken it.
No, you wouldn't. No. Let me rephrase. Yeah. You don't know how many points. You don't know how many points behind. Say there was a clearing out winger. Clearing out the Premier League champions were clear, like let's say 10 points, and Chelsea had come second, for example.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what he's saying is,
then there's basically like something's better than the league, basically. Do you know?
It wouldn't have been a title race. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What he's saying is, what he's saying. Oh, sorry, Joe. I was trying to explain what you meant. I think I know what you mean. Tell me if I'm wrong, by the way. I'm telling you what you're trying to say. What he's saying is, regardless of the context, if Chelsea are in a position to win it, because of our standards for our football club, we must win it.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
What he's saying. So as Chelsea fans, we're not like Arsenal fans. We need to separate.
I get you.
You see?
Yeah,
I missed the point. We weren't predicted to be here, but next season, Chelsea fans, because we have standards there.
No, very, very true.
Top, right? against Man City. It was like
I had Arsenal fans
the
saying to me at the beginning of the season, yeah, like, oh, do you think you have a chance of getting top 4? Like, and I'm like, huh? And they're like, what? Why? What do you think? Do you think you're gonna win it? And I'm like, bruv, did we spend that money not to compete to win it? Or something?
Yeah, so like that's the point.
You ain't got that standard.
Yeah.
I watched my team win the Champions League a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think, again, it's almost like when we came into the season, I think we can all agree, first and foremost, it was non-negotiable getting back into Champions League football, right? That was an absolute must for us to achieve this season, because it's like, there's no excuses. We've built the squad. They've had time together last season. Wrong manager, yeah, but still, the squad's been put together. Most of recruitment's been complete. So, there was no excuses. And for us, that was our ambition. The fact that, these supposed title challenges have come into the season, it's not gone quite right. But let me play devil's advocate here as well and say this, that do you guys remember quite towards the start of the season now, a few games in, Liverpool were on par with City and Arsenal. Obviously City hadn't started their bad run of form, and Liverpool were like, guys, keep this quiet. Nobody talk about us being title challengers, and nobody talk about us being, and look now. The fact is that in 2 months, so much can change in terms of how the league looks and what happens, that it's quite bizarre. So I don't even think we know what's coming with the progression of the league. I'm not saying that, we don't surprise people, but it's so early. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because most Chelsea fans are like, I don't think we're going to win the league this season, yeah? At the beginning of the season, did you not think that we could win the league?
No, Jordan. Did you? Because I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
Yes, I did. Did you?
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I struggled to believe
crazy,
that.
But did you, Ches?
No. Ches,
I said fight. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. I said fight for top 3.
Yeah.
Because Jordan, I can't lie. You're the first Chelsea fan I've met, and I'm on Chelsea.
Let me explain myself.
Go for it. I'm all ears.
My predictions were that we were going to actually finish
one bit.
Huh?
Go on, explain.
Say it, please. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so basically I predicted that we were going to finish 4th in the league. That's where I thought we were going to realistically, yeah. But then I said, based on we've got a new manager and we've just spent all that money on a squad which have a little bit of experience playing together, we should be competing for the Premier League, yeah, rightfully. So that's a point that everyone could basically agree on. But that's still competing for the Premier League basically means finishing in the top 4, right? But for me, that was, we can win the Premier League. Why? And I'll tell you why. Because the last time when we finished 10th in the Premier League, we got a new, and everyone's saying we can't because it's a new manager. Trust me, we can't. Yeah, we can. We got a new manager before. He came in, he won the league. He was Italian too. Why couldn't we win the league? I sat there thinking, of course we can win the league.
That's more like.
That's how I felt about it. Because the only, that's more
like.
But it's also standards. It's also standards.
No. CB, you know CB? CB Chelsea fan? Man, don't know CB.
What's his name?
He was on my stream yesterday, so I don't know if you guys, everyone knows. If you know, you know. I'll get a video of him.
Maybe I do. Yeah.
Anyway, CB argues with Don all the time. You know Don, Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
they argue all the time. Enzo, whatever. CB is one of the only people, like Jordan, allegedly, who's been saying we must be winning the league. We have standards, like Johnny Minerals. We must win in the league no matter what. I don't care about this young squad. So there's a fine line between like optimism, reality, and like feeling where you want to be. So I get what you're saying, Jordan. In terms of, like, you would hope because of the past.
That's perfect. That's perfect, bro. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm just having high standards for my wonderful football club, which
100%.
Look, we don't come to compete, we come to win. So if like, this is my point, innit? I said at the beginning of the season, look, I don't think that we're going to be doing as good as we are now. Yeah, I didn't think that. I thought, I don't know where we'd be right now. But I said, a few games into the season, however many games that is, and now we're 11, 12 games in. I said, if we're now at this point, I feel like to myself, if we're going to be doing this good for 1/3 of the season, why can we not do that for the rest of the season?
But this is the thing. I don't think we've been that good though.
Exactly. As that's my point. We can be even better, but not just that. So can other teams be better though as well, which is a problem here.
You know what?
City
yeah, but
be better than what they're doing, and Arsenal can arguably do better than what they're doing as well.
That's a fair argument to rebut my point.
You get what I mean? Liverpool can't probably do better than what they're doing. So then that's like sort of your top four kind of. And it's like, so if we were all doing the best we could, who would actually win the league? That's mad.
That is too hypothetical for me though. Because like there's too many variables. It's just too much going on. It's not tangible enough. You can't have arguments based off just feelings. We'll be here all day. Because no one could really substantiate any claims. I can say to you right now, Chelsea win the treble next season. You can't really tell me no or yes.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I could just say we've never won a treble before, so I can't see that.
This is funny. He's not taking a piss, but this is funny. That's his pure Colombian hopium. That is hilarious, to be fair. Giant Graver. He's not taking it, he's joking, obviously. But Nino, what are you saying? Like, we asked a bit more thought-provoking question.
A thought-provoking.
Are you just saying this because you don't? Are you just saying you don't want to admit you're in a title race using my logic of how many points are off to save face? Is that the reason why? Or is it you genuinely believe until you said March or February? You said February.
Yeah, February.
March, only until February can you make these claims. What is it really?
It's about time, because it's about time span. This is way too short of a time sample of what we've seen Chelsea do and what we've seen Maresca do. And like I said, we've not hit bumps in the road yet to such a large extent to see how Maresca faces adversity. Let's be real, guys. We're high flying, but it's not going to be smooth sailing. I think we can all be mature about that and, believe it that we're going to drop points at something. If people believe that Liverpool can't drop points, do you guys think that people are saying the same about Chelsea? I don't think so, because at the moment, how we're looking, we're playing great. We've got our squad fit. We've got this little backbone forming where, Caicedo's dropping consistent performances. Cucurella has been fantastic. Jackson scoring goals, quite consistency. Cole Palmer's this brilliant player. And, they're all fantastic to have, but they are a crucial part of how, we're playing, how we're doing, and all of this. Like I said, if something happens and certain key players are out, what do we do? How much has he built this team where depth can, step in and where we can continue producing good performances? I also want to say to you guys, do you think our defense is polished? Because I don't think so. And that's another thing that we're still working out. So if I'm saying, here we are, we're perfect, well, we're not. We still have lots of problems. I just think that, we have started out much better than we expected. Jordan, if you saw this coming, then fair play to you, mate. But I don't, because I watched the last 2 seasons. I was quite realistic. Yeah, of course I have high standards. I was born... Huh?
I specifically said I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see it coming.
Oh, no. I meant in terms of you saying, like, you could see... Why couldn't Chelsea win a title this season, for example, where you said... Like, I obviously have high standards. I was born in 2001. I've only ever seen us be successful. This is all I know. But at the same time, I watched the last 2 seasons and I just know that it was pretty difficult and that things are still coming together. We went through such a big clear out, so much change in the club, the foundation, the owners, backroom staff, people that have made the club what it is in the last 20 years, that it's just almost bizarre to think that it would have been the same. So I just recognize that we're on this process, and at the moment the process is processing, right? It's not that we're there yet, but we're on the right track. I think the fact that Arsenal kind of went flat at one point as well, which made it easier for us as well, because we were able to continue about our business, right? Not be interested in what an Arsenal's doing, what a Man City's doing, and how poorly they're performing, but just focus on us. And it's just been a case that has happened. We've also been good, and Liverpool have kind of run away further forwards, but I still think it's a game at a time. You guys can laugh at me, but I don't necessarily think Everton away is going to be a piece of cake. I don't think Ipswich away is going to be a piece of cake.
No, it won't
These
be.
are actually...
It won't be.
No, it won't be. And I think that's where we see exactly how we're doing. Obviously, Tottenham at the weekend, some might say, and with right, that that's an easier game than the 2 I just mentioned, purely because of our records there, purely because of how things have gone. And yeah, it's true. But I just think I want to see how we face adversity, what happens when results don't go our way, what happens if certain players drop form ever so slightly. Again, I don't want it to happen, but Chaz, to answer your question, it's just too small of a time frame at the moment, and I still think there are certain vulnerabilities in the team.
I agree.
So long may it continue.
I agree. I'm gonna state what I need to state, and then Jordan can roll through. Man, them last 10 minutes or so, man, them and girls in the chat, last 10 minutes or so, subscribe to this channel, Road to 1K. This weekend needs to be hit 100%. Nina's obviously channel is there, but I'll put up on the screen anyway. Easy follow up in the description. The same Foot Locker Room as well with Ems and them, and James. Always in content.
Subscribe, guys.
And subscribe to my channel. I need to hit 1K, man. Don't mess around. If everyone did it right now, I'd hit 1K to get it. So let's make it make sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Come on,
man. Let's do this. But what was I going to say? You know what? This debate is actually very interesting. I didn't realize it would be so controversial. I didn't realize all three of us had different opinions. But what I'd say is...
Well, that's what makes it good.
That's exactly. But what I'd say is that in those games I referred to, right, that'll be match day 20. So, like, I don't know how he wouldn't be in that. I just keep thinking it's like I don't mind putting pressure on my club. I need to put pressure on my club because if there's no pressure, there's no standards. No standards, you don't win. If you don't win, what are you really doing? We're not partakers. We just start winning trophies. We've lost, guys, too many finals. We've lost like 5 finals in a row, and it stems from somewhere. It's not a coincidence. You just 5 finals. I'm sorry, you don't just 5 finals.
I get that, but that's domestic finals, though, man. Like
it's actually 6.
I don't care.
I get that. No, I get it because it's a mentality.
I don't care what it is. I don't care.
We've lost at Wembley 5 times.
6, guys.
6.
So I don't want to be going into another potential title. I'm not saying title race potential, but I don't want to go into another season going, it's okay, man. We're young anyway. No, at least lie. If you aim for the star, you land on the moon. Now, at least say you're going to be there. I think game week 20 is too large to be saying, oh, no, you know, like 1 month later, we'll see. Because, like, at that point, you're literally like...
You don't think it's too early?
Over half the season, no.
Let's not forget that it was a 3-legged race last season in, like...
No. You're saying it's too early based off the assumption that Chelsea's been in the top 4 race. If we're going from that POV, I agree. If you thought Chelsea would get top 4,
just going to say the same thing though. They're just going to say.
Nina's saying that is 100% spawn. By the way, she says it's too early because we were meant to be top 4, and I believe he was. So how am I in title race?
I just don't understand why we need that pressure so much right now, where we need to absolutely say yes, we're in a title race. Because
I'll tell you why. Because our players are our age, Nina. They're our age. So if you
true.
Have our
and
age,
you saw how Cole Palmer reacted to the question.
That's fucking PR. That's literally PR. He's not going to come up and say no.
I'll tell you this, though. You know that Cole Palmer is one of the pretty honest players when it comes to it. You know, he's just a good guy.
Is he going to go after his manager who's just going, no, one game?
Look, guys, I get it. I love the fact that...
You know, he's going to go, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are, yeah. What?
No, he's going to go, what?
Yeah, what? I thought we already was. He's like, what? I thought we already was.
Wait, what was the question?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to go. He's not going to say something different to the manager.
Hey, guys, what I'm going to say is enjoy this. We're on a groove here. We're on a groove, and there's still a lot more to achieve.
I want pressure back, Nina. I want pressure back. We're in the mud.
All right, Ches, you keep putting it out. I don't want you going down to Cobham, though.
Listen, when I go to the game, I'm planning to go to a few games this month. I'm going to apply pressure.
Pressure. You're going to be there on the sideline.
The silverware is lovely.
I'm going to be there.
I want that Premier League title, and I want to win the Conference League. I want to get back into the Champions League and be competing for that. Yeah, I want to be back competing for the Champions League because that's the position where Chelsea are supposed to be, man.
Yeah.
God Almighty, please.
That's what I'm saying. And guys, when we get to Europa Leagues, we win it. When we get to Champions League, we do very well.
Vintage, man.
So we haven't done a Premier League, like, even okay, maybe not title race.
I'm wearing the Champions League top right now. Like, I didn't even realize, but yeah.
Hey guys, we could win the Club World Cup again.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Another little gold thing in it, like.
Even though I'd say winning the FA Cup would be more impressive than anything, or so.
We've actually got a bit better. You know, we've got a big chance to win that again.
What?
Because
which one?
Arsenal play United.
We kind of need to secretly, you know.
Arsenal play United. Villa play West Ham. So that's already like 2 big teams.
Get into the finals easy and all, Ches. It's the final that's difficult.
You can't say we don't.
It is. Every single time I do a stream,
I'm not going to Wembley again, though. I was 3 in a row, and I just
you literally took words out of my mouth. Jordan, let me tell you this, yeah. I think every time I've done a stream on Chelsea, since I've been doing streams, I keep talking about February.
About what?
I keep talking about February. We lost the final.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can't get it out of my head. It was such a melancholy,
it was so
pathetic
bad.
fallacy. If you know what that means, that just basically means the weather reflects the mood. I was so engulfed in like anger, but like coldness. And
Yeah,
just,
I felt like that after the FA Cup semi-final
Jordan, was
too.
you there? Because I saw Nina there. Was you there in the final?
Where? At the final?
The Liverpool one. The Liverpool one.
No. I wasn't at the game, no.
I still have that roar from the Liverpool end like echoing in my head.
That's what I dream about every day.
To go to a final against Scousers and lose, mate. They make crazy noise.
Nina, that goal, is still haunting me to this day.
Yeah. It was just I can't even. It was
Van
Dijk,
so close
wasn't
to
it?
penalties, and then just fucking score a corner.
You know what though? Do you know what still haunts me to this day? It still haunts me to this day. Wait, you were born in 2001, Nina. So wow, you're 7 years old. It haunts me to this day when John Terry slipped over, man.
Wait, Nina, you definitely conscious. Obviously, you were active then, no? You've been old enough to remember that.
Not at 6,
not really.
Sadly. I wish I could lie and say
I kind of remember.
Stressful,
no,
man. Oh,
obviously I know and I've seen and read, but not like consciously remember it. But yeah, no, guys, good and bad times. But do you know what though? It's the fact that do you know what my biggest Do you know what my biggest thing is? So like we can wrap this on a positive when we do end the show is my positive is that I had no faith with what the owners were trying to do at one point, right? And we all questioned it. We all questioned like recruitment and the owners, and they were the first to come up in conversation. But now it all kind of seems like it's falling into place, and that, you know, trust the process actually had a meaning and an ambition behind it. Do you remember how much it got mocked? Oh yeah, trust the process and this and that, because it got put on hold a million times. But now actually you kind of see that we did buy good players, and you can see that there is this vision here with the club, and that there is this kind of really feel good factor. And I think the players have get on with each other so much more, definitely the most in recent years, maybe since that Champions League winning squad did, because like they all root for each other, like Nkunku and Cole Palmer having a laugh, like him nicking his goal off him. It's all fun and it's all good. So yeah, it's just everything that we need it to be at the moment. That's why I'm happy and I'm content with what's going on, because we're moving in the right direction. I'm seeing the things I was promised. And you know what, guys, even if God forbid it goes wrong, at least we know what this Chelsea team is capable of. And actually this time around there's something worth trusting if it goes wrong, because we've seen what Maresca has done with the squad.
Yeah, I agree.
Jordan, how are you feeling as well about clearly?
Yeah, personally, wrap up the Conference League. We've got to bag that. There's no sideways.
No excuse.
And
sure.
And humbly, we need to finish in the top 4 and get back into the Champions League. I'd love to win the league, of course we would. But
if we do that, by the way, that's a good season for me.
If we do that, I'm going to be like, okay, all right, not bad, yeah, good. Let's. If
Maresca wins the trophy, European trophy that is, I would say the Conference League is like just under an FA Cup in terms of like prowess, which that's a good trophy.
Do you know what would be? Do you know what would also be just the touch on top of that was if we get in the top 4 and we win the Conference League and we manage to bag the FA Cup and end that Wembley curse.
Oh, that'll be a fantastic season. That is probably the best season we could have written before the season started.
Yeah.
If you'd said to someone you'd be in the top 4, you win the Conference and the FA Cup, that's like a 10 out of 10 season. Considering the standards, by the way. Not considering that. Of course, if you're saying Chelsea Football Club as a whole, then it's not 10 out of 10. I'm saying like from the beginning of the season.
Jordan, do you have anyone on the back of that shirt, on the blue one on your wall?
The one on
your wall. Has it got anyone on the back?
No, it hasn't. This one's plain.
It's a really nice shirt. That's one of my faves.
It's the old
Samsung, isn't it? You can't beat the Samsung. Yeah.
Those were the days.
That's in Samsung's iconic, because Essie and all them, man. It was all those best players who wore that shirt.
Lampard, Juan Mata.
By the way, that yellow one reminds me of Ziyech so much, by the way.
Ziyech, and Pulisic as well.
Ziyech and Werner, innit?
Steve and Christian, although that shirt and Mount as well, and Werner. That's what I can think about. And Rudiger, his goal against was it Brentford? Who scored a banger in that shirt?
Was it Brentford? Oh no.
He scored like a long range shot and we lost 5-2 or 4-2 at home. Anyway, Rudiger in that shirt.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Wolves.
I remember that. Nostalgia. Shout out Nina for that one. I didn't even deep it till now.
This is personally my favorite though. This one, you know, what trophy?
That's Champions League one, isn't it?
I don't like the 3 sponsors.
No, it's not. It's not my favorite, but we lifted the Champions League.
We won.
Yeah, no,
I've got to like it. I've got to like it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like you.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this one here. This is my favorite.
It's really nice.
I like the new ones.
Do you know what?
I also like them. You know what? I really like our 3rd kit.
I like it. I like the beige one. We've got the beige one.
Just for the banter.
Oh, that's quality, yeah. Do you know what? That logo is just everything.
That's a 1993, the year I was born. Yeah. I'm kind of.
You know what? Perfect way to end the stream, man. Nostalgic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Perfect. But everyone, big up for joining in, man. Yeah, man. We'll try and get another one of these going once a week. Big up Nina for jumping in. Stop jumping in. Really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
As always. Jordan as well, first time on the channel. Both of you first time, actually. So big up for the conversation. It's sick.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, playback or live. Subscribe to all the channels in the description. Get me to 1K today or this week.
Get
minimum
1K, guys. Come on, get it done.
Subscribe, like, hit the bell, all of that good stuff.
Don't ramp. We'll see you soon, man. And we'll talk about the game tomorrow as well. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hit the bell.